Yes, yes, yes. Another day, another day. Hey, 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 hey. Alrighty. I don't know why I don't say 11:45. And I know why, because if I say 11:45, it is going to be 12 o'clock. Alrighty. No, you can't have no ashy lips. So, hello, hello, everybody. It is that time. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, say yes. Okay, you got to comment yes because I am live streaming through Zoom onto Facebook. So I cannot hear you, but I do see everything moving. So let's get started. I do not have my tea with me today. I do have my mug that says you're amazing. And I do not have my tea because I am on a cleanse this week. And so because I'm on a cleanse, I cannot do my tea and my honey. But I'll be back to that next week. You got to take care of yourself. I know that today we're going to be talking about EIN numbers and all of that good stuff, but let me tell you, you have to take care of yourself, take care of your body. The holiday season is a time that so many people get stressed and overwhelmed with the traditions of the land. And instead of owning and being true to your own values and the things that you believe in, we often can get sucked into what everybody tells us we should be doing, we could be doing, and why we need to participate in all these sales and everything like that. And I'm not here to preach to you what you should be doing during this holiday season. I just want you to be true to you. Okay, if you're a gift giver and you want to go out and spend your money and this is what you look forward to and you've been saving up all year to go out and do gifts and things for people, please don't let me stop you. But if you're like me, you're thinking about, long term and longevity. I have a sister, and she's probably tuning in or will tune in at some point throughout the week. And I remember when she became more cognizant of her finances. And one year she gifted a lot of us with books about finance and with helping teach our children and talk to our children about finance. And there was a couple people that, was like, huh? But I was so excited. My husband and I were so excited about it. And we looked forward to sharing some of the things we learned out of that book with our children. And it was a great, great experience. And so it's really, it's about what you feel you can bless people with, but all the time, let me say it like this. Everybody doesn't always appreciate what you think is valuable. And that's one of my little pet peeves with the holiday season. The things that I think are valuable that I would like to bless people with may not be the things that they see as valuable and that they want to be blessed with. And so I always get in that little war around, do I want to spend all this money on somebody and they're not going to really appreciate what I'm giving them because what I think is going to be valuable to them, they may not see as valuable. So anyways, like I said, I didn't mean to get off on that tangent, but I'm pretty sure that there's some of you that are listening and you're like, yeah, I feel you. I understand. Um, and I just want to encourage you just to be true. Be true to you. So EINs. What does EIN stand for, first of all? Because some people are like, what is an EIN number? People tell me I need an EIN, but I don't know what an EIN is. An EIN means employer identification number. Okay, so just like you have a social security number, and that those 9 digits give you access to a lot of things in life, like credit, like job opportunities, shows that you're a citizen and things like that. The same thing with your EIN. In a way, think about it as your company's social security number, right? Your business's social security number. Now, the thing that confuses people with EIN numbers is that they may decide that they want to be a solopreneur, sole proprietor organization or entity. And I always use the examples of barbers or stylists, folks who work for themselves and may not necessarily want to have like a full business structure, but you are a business because you're doing barbering, styling, or what have you. And so a lot of times what people will do is they're like, oh, I'm no business. I'll just use my social security number. And then they do their Schedule C's, which goes along with your personal income taxes in order for them to file their business income, right? And do your business write-offs and stuff. You need your Schedule C. Now, this is only like a 15-20 minute conversation. So you may feel like I'm skipping over some things, and I kind of am because I'm trying to get to the point of what I want to talk about. And there will be some things that I'm going to skate through very quickly. So if you have questions or you missed something, please put it in the chat. I promise you I will get back to those questions and comments either immediately following the live stream, or I will get back to you at some point today so that I can respond to your questions. Now, with that being said, when you are a solopreneur or sole proprietor, right? Those can be used interchangeably. Solopreneur basically means an entrepreneur that is kind of by themselves, working for themselves. You can Google it. It'll give you a better definition than I just did. And so when you are a beautician, hairstylist, that kind of thing, where you just file things on your Schedule C, then you can make the determination, like I said, to not even have an EIN number, just use your social security number. Now, the danger with that is if somebody wants to send you a payment on a W-9 form, which is what they should be using if they're going to pay you over the table, which is legal, under the table is not reported. And as a person who's a tax professional, I will say it's not legal. Okay. But a lot of people do that, and we're not going to get into that conversation today. And so the danger is that now you're putting your social security number on a W-9 and you're putting a social security number out there for the public, that when they are going to pay you over the table for your services or for your products, now they're going to have that social security number. Now, with the danger of identity theft right now, I just don't think it's a good idea to be giving away my social security number to people. And I don't think it's a good idea for you to give your social security number away. So even if you decide, I don't want to incorporate, I don't want an LLC, I just want to cut hair. I just want to do hair. I just want to, do my business as a solopreneur, and I don't want to get into all of that LLC stuff right now. That's fine, but I still say get you an EIN number. And so when you go to do your EIN, like most people, they're going to Google, get an EIN, right? And that's fine because Google's very helpful. The problem is that what happens is when you Google EIN or needing an EIN number, that what will happen is you will get this notification from all of these companies who want to charge you $200, $300, $400 to help you get an EIN. Now, if you've never received one and you've never been to the IRS.gov website, you're going to think, oh, wow, these people are in the business of helping me. Wrong. These people are in the business of taking you for as much money as they can get on a transaction that should literally take you less than 15 minutes. It is not a hard transaction. I do them for my clients if they ask me to. I don't charge them $200 for it, but generally I am an educator, so I like to teach people how to do it for themselves. So literally, if you Google, like I love to Google, do not pay for a EIN. You want to go directly to the IRS.gov website. So if you Google create an EIN, the fifth or sixth, maybe the fourth one that you will see on the line will be the IRS.gov website. You want to go to the IRS.gov website. It is not going to cost you anything to create an EIN. Now, the EINs are created for different purposes, right? It could be for banking purposes only. It could be because you want to start an LLC, because you are incorporating an organization. So you'll need your EIN number. The good thing about it though is even if you get an EIN as a solopreneur and then you decide to be an LLC later, you can keep your EIN number. Now, everybody does not know that you can do that. Literally, all you're doing is saying, hey, you got to call the IRS because they don't allow you to just change it in a system because right now they're still dinosaurs in that way. And for identity theft purposes, I would imagine. But at some point in the future, I do imagine that they are going to create a way for you to do these things and verify who you are and it not be an identity security issue. For now, though, what you have to do is you have to call the IRS and you have to tell them, I want to create a name change for my EIN. And then you change it to whatever your new business name is and you add your LLC at the end. Let me give you a disclaimer and a warning. Like if I had the ability to add warning signs to this video, I would do warning, big red alert sirens, is that you want to be mindful of the fact that when you start a business as a solopreneur, sole proprietor, your name may not be available as an LLC. So I would strongly encourage you, if you have a name that's not your own name. So like my consulting business name is Monroe Naylor Consulting. That is my last name. When you Google Monroe Naylor, LaTonia Monroe Naylor, you are going to find me, right? That's the main reason why my brand expert suggested that I actually use my name as my business, because I already have a lot of grounding out there. I already have a lot of pictures and videos of my content that I've done, presentations and trainings that I've done and things of that nature, that if you Google me, you will find it by putting in my name. I had another name for my business and it was a pretty nice name. The problem was when you put that name in Google, there were so many people that had similar names all over the world. And when you put Monroe Naylor in Google, there was like nobody. So it made it very easy for me. And it really helped me to save a lot of money on marketing and SEO and all these other things that come into play if I want people to come to my website or come to my content. So for you, think about that when you decide to do your EIN or when you decide to register your business, whether you decide to register as a solopreneur, as I talked about last week in the Tea and Talk, you can go down to your city or municipal office and register if you decide to go that route. If you decide to go the LLC route, you're registering with your state, with your Secretary of State. Now, again, you can keep your EIN. that you already had as a solopreneur, even when you decide to become an LLC. You cannot keep your EIN if you decide to change it to a corporation or a nonprofit. And that's because you have two different business structures. So in that case, you will have to get a new EIN if you decide that you want to incorporate as a nonprofit organization. But when you think about your the benefits, here are some benefits that you can consider when you decide to keep your EIN going from solopreneur to LLC. The reason being is that you already have a name out there and you have an establishment. So there's two things that happen. There's your business credit that you want to build through your EIN as an LLC, but then there's your history as a business entity. What happens a lot of times is when you want to apply for grants, when you want to apply for loans, they'll say, well, how long have you been in business? Well, if you have a new EIN and a new LLC, they're going to go with that date as your starting point. If you have an EIN that was registered 5 years ago and a business that was registered 5 years ago, even though you were not yet an LLC, most businesses or excuse me, most business grants and business loans will honor the fact that you were established 5 years ago. So now, when it comes to, especially, there were a lot of monies that were available during COVID. There's a lot of monies that are still available with ARPA and all these other kind of fundings across the country. And if you were in business less than 2 years, you were not able to get access to that business. And when I to that money, excuse me. Now, you could have been in business, but because you weren't registered anywhere and there was no documentation for you, you technically were not in business. So when I say you have history of a 5 years, 6 years, or whenever you started your EIN or when you started your business, and this is why I strongly suggest again that you get your solopreneur business, create an EIN for it and file that on your annual taxes, is that now you are showing that you have a history of a business. And so now it opens your doors for opportunities. Now, when it comes to a bank account, though, if you have your bank account as a solopreneur and then you get your LLC, most bank accounts will not let you keep the same bank account that I mean, you can keep it, you don't have to close it, but they're not going to allow you to use it because now you have an LLC and they treat LLCs differently in the banking system than they do in other systems. Understand? So it's a way, it's like a little cheat, a little cheat sheet. It's legal, but it's a little way for you to get around some of those historical requirements that many grants and loans will say that you need in order for you to be able to apply for them if you've already had your EIN, even though you just became an LLC today, kind of thing. So yeah, so think about that. And then if you do an EIN as a corporation or a nonprofit organization, then it's required. You have to have an EIN in order for you to establish a corporation. And the good thing about it is that with corporations, once you start getting into business credit and things like that, you start to build credit for your business under your EIN. Is much quicker process than when you have your solopreneur kind of work. And let me clarify something before we close because it's 12 o'clock and I'll be getting ready to rotate out. One thing that I want to clarify as well is that even though you have your EIN for your LLC and you started to assume business credit, you want to be very careful. How do I say this? You want to be very careful that you are in fact earning business credit. Okay, so I mentioned that you could get an EIN for your solopreneur business. And I did also mention, and I don't know if you caught it, that you cannot build business credit under your EIN if you're a solopreneur and not an LLC. So the reason why that happens is that when you're a solopreneur, you're taxed as an individual and your business is attached to you. So even though it's a business, it's like you're the business. When you have an LLC, even though it's still you, it counts you as the business. So you're separate from yourself. So anything that you purchase, any credit that you establish under the LLC is actually its own thing. And that's why it's so important for you to think about net 30 accounts, think about credit cards that actually do report to the credit bureau for businesses, the business credit aspect, and that you want to be clear. Like Capital One is one that you can get a business credit card very easily, but what Capital One does is it's really attached to your personal credit, so they're not reporting to a business. Even if you have an LLC or corporation, they're not reporting to the business side of it. They're actually reporting on the personal side of it. So if for some reason you're late or something like that on your payment, it's actually going to affect your personal credit. AMX and some of these other cards actually report to the credit bureau for businesses. And so what happens is if you're late or something like that, it actually doesn't go on your personal credit. It goes on the business credit side. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to get into that today. I'm kind of wrapping up the conversation here about the EINs. And I just want to make sure that I reiterate again, do not pay to get your EIN. Do not pay to get your employer identification number. Okay, do not pay. Now, if you're paying somebody as part of a package deal to set up your business, and that's one thing, but to just pay for your EIN and pay $200, $300, $500 for an EIN, no, that is a scam. You do not have to do that. As a matter of fact, if you go to the IRS website, they will walk you through how to do it. So you can actually get them on the phone. The only problem with the IRS is they make you wait on hold forever, but you could be doing something else while you're waiting on hold. And then once they get on the phone, you could ask the questions and they'll walk you through what you need to do to get your EIN situated. So do not think that you have to pay somebody a whole bunch of money to set up your EIN properly. They will walk you through how to do it properly too. Okay. So save some of that money. Don't get scammed today. Don't get scammed this holiday season. And I look forward to hearing about your success stories, about building your credit and things like that. And hopefully this helped you a little bit along the way to be able to make sure that you're starting off strong and building the structure of your business. All right, y'all. And as I mentioned through social media the last couple of weeks, get your pre-order in. Mission Rich and Profit Powered is coming out. It is very close to being on the shelf. I've got a couple of last little things that we're working through, and my anticipation is by early next week it'll be ready to go. But definitely in December you will get yours in the mail if you've already pre-ordered. And if you have not already pre-ordered, I'm encouraging you to pre-order today. A lot of the stuff we talk about during our tea and talk are conversations that we have in the book. And I like to elaborate a little bit more on them when we're doing our tea and talk. So get your tea, drink it a little bit more. I'll be drinking mine next week after I'm done with my cleanse this week. And I look forward to seeing y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your week. God bless you.